Hi everyone, his first flight by Liam O. Flaherty of class 10, Prose, Board. The story by Liam O. Flaherty is an account of a young bird that is afraid to fly for the first time. He believes that his wings would not support him. Despite his younger siblings flying fearlessly with much stronger wings, he could not gather the courage to do the same. He was punished by his parents to be hungry because he did never try to fly away from there. Thus, it was his mother who forced him to fly by using food as a trap. The lesson reflects how one hesitates to take the first step and that fear is all in the mind. One should trust one's abilities because the fear of suffering is worse than the suffering itself. So in this slide, we are coming to know that there is a young bird which is very much scared to fly for the very first time. And that particular bird is believing that his wings will not support him. And he does have his younger siblings particularly, who are without fear flying with their strong wings. But this fellow is not having or not gathering his courage to do the same like his younger siblings. And he is punished by his parents to be hungry. So that their parents punished him because they have a feeling that if they punish him with hungry, then he will definitely try to fly. That is their motive. But this fellow is not at all trying to fly. So what happens? The mother, the father and the siblings, they are moving to the other side. But what the mother does is, the mother is using a trap of food to make this fellow fly away from there. And this fellow does not take any step only because of fear in his mind. That's why the last line is said that one should trust one's abilities. We should trust on our own abilities. The fear of suffering is worse than the suffering itself. And in this slide, what we are going to see is, let me read out first. The story is about a young seagull who is at the stage of life where he has to learn to fly. Unlike his younger brothers and sister, he is too scared to fly when all of them went for flying for the first time near the edge of the sea. All of them except him succeeded. He could not trust his wings. He got terrified by the vast sea and got convinced that he could never fly. As a result, he was ashamed and disheartened and went inside the ledge where usually he slept. His younger siblings tried and succeeded to take their wings, being shorter than his, but he couldn't summon the courage, though he tried so desperately. He was scolded by his parents for not trying again, but he was so scared that he could not even move. So what we are learning in this slide is, the story is about the seagull. Young bird is this young seagull, which is always found in the sea. And it is at the stage of life where he has to learn, anyhow he has to learn to fly. And he's so scared to fly, but his younger brothers and sisters are not at all scared, and they moved from this edge to that edge of the sea, but this fellow is not at all. Along with their parents, they flew away from this edge to that edge, but this particular young seagull is not at all able to fly, only because of fear. The reason of fear is he was not trusting his own wings. and seeing the vast sea, he was terrified, and he came to a conclusion that he could never fly. And as a result, what happened? He was ashamed and broken. He was totally broken out and went inside the sledge where he usually slept. His younger siblings, they tried their level best and succeeded to take their wings, even though their wings were shorter, and they succeeded. But this fellow could not summon his courage, collect his courage, being courage. He did never try to fly away from this side to that side. But what their parents did was they scolded him for not trying to move from here to there, move from this edge to that edge. Because of only fear, they were scolding him. Next slide. Let me read out. Now he had been alone for a day after he tried because his parents were busy focusing on his siblings. They helped his siblings master the art of flying and diving for food, that is fish. His siblings even caught their first fish, which they proudly ate at a rock while the parents celebrated it. That morning, his parents taunted him all the way for being a coward. So in this slide, what we are going to see is the whole day he was all alone there at this edge. And what the parents were doing, the parents are focusing on the other siblings who are trying to fly, who flew from this edge to that edge, having short wings. And what the parents were doing, they were helping his siblings to master in the art of flying and diving for food. And they learned the art, and they caught the fish, and they proudly ate sitting on a rock, and the parents celebrated it. And that morning, what happened? The parents started taunting this fellow for being coward. They were mocking him, they were taunting him. Next slide. The sun had then risen, and he was feeling the heat more than ever because he was empty stomach since that night before. He stepped out of his ledge and pretended to sleep on one leg to gain the attention of his family. Still, none noticed him. His siblings were sleeping. His father was cleaning his feathers with his beak, and his mother was standing on another plateau eating fish. She noticed him at that side. The seagull became crazy on seeing the fish because that increases appetite. He loved to tear away the fish and scrape his beak now and then. So what is told in this slide? Let's go through that. The sun is rising from the east on the very next day. The previous day, our young seagull, scared seagull, is empty stomach, and he is stepping out of his ledge, pretending to be asleep with one leg to gain the attention of the family. But none of them is noticing him. His siblings are sleeping after filling their stomach because they have learned the art of diving and catching the fish. And his father is cleaning the feathers with his beak. And what is his mother doing? She's standing on the other plateau eating the fish. They are all on the other plateau, but okay. So what is the mother doing? Mother is eating the fish on the other side, along with her family, that is father and the siblings of this young fellow. And at that time she is noticing this our seagull, hungry seagull on the other side. The seagull became crazy on seeing the fish because that increases appetite. Appetite means pussy. So heavy. His hungry was so he's not able to tolerate that. He loved to tear away the fish and scrape his beak now and then. And in this slide, what we are going to see is, let me read out. He cried in hunger to his mother, but his mother screamed angrily. But the seagull kept on crying. It soon turned into a joyful scream at the sight of his mother flying towards him with a piece of fish. He became excited and she came near and nearer and leaned forward. But his mom suddenly stopped, but at the same time not too far from him. Out of excitement and hunger, he dived at the fish without being known for a moment that he was scared to fly. He got so excited that he fell as soon as he tried. For a moment, he was in fear and shook, but out of terror. All this went on for a moment, and soon his feathers opened as he started flying. He could feel the wind against his breast feathers, stomach, and his wings. He could feel himself cutting through the air. He was not afraid anymore. He was just a bit nervous, but then his mom joined him. The whole family screamed out of excitement and celebrated his victory over fear. Once he was out of fear, he forgot that he was once scared of flying. So something happening in this slide. So when he saw his mother, he cried in hunger to his mother. And his mother was so angry and she screamed angrily. But the seagull did not stop his crying. He kept on crying. That crying soon turned into a joyful scream because the mother started moving from there, okay, towards him with a piece of fish. So he understood that the mom is flying towards him only for the sake of food, to give him food. He became excited. But she came near and nearer, leaned forward. His mom suddenly stopped. She just stood over. She stopped moving her wings. But at the same time, not too far from him. But at the same time, she was not too much far away from him. Out of excitement, what our seagull did was he dived at the fish without being known for a moment that he was scared to fly. He forgot that he is scared of flying. He just dived at the fish. He got so excited, he fell as soon as he tried. So he was so excited. The moment he fell down, as he tried to catch the fish from his mom, he just fell down. For a moment, he was in fear and shook, but out of terror. For a moment, he was in fear. He was scared like anything. He was terrible. And he was shocked also, but out of terror. So all these things went only for a little time. His feathers opened just now and started flying. He started flying. He could feel the wind against his breast feathers. He could feel as he was moving, the air was also against his breast feathers, stomach, and his wings. He could feel himself cutting through the air. He could understand that he is cutting the air and moving forward. He was not at all afraid now. So he was not afraid anymore. He was just a bit of nervous and his mom joined him. The whole family screamed out of excitement and celebrated his victory over fear. So the whole family joined him, and they all started screaming with excitement, and they are all celebrating his victory over fear. He was out of fear. Now he is out of fear, and he forgets that he once he was scared of flying. And in this slide, what we are going to see is he has succeeded his fear. That's what we are going to see in this slide. Let me read out. He did all those things once he feared. He flew straight over the sea and could see the greenery and the mountains beneath him. He screamed out of joy as he enjoyed the victory. When he landed, his family also landed along with him as a gesture that they were proud. They were screaming and shouting in excitement in their high-pitched voices. He, that is our little fellow, then went into the sea where at first he got scared and panicked. He tried escaping but got tired and weak because of hunger. Thus, he calmed down, he started floating in the sea to which once he was scared of. His family was celebrating in excitement and offered him food as praise. And finally, he had overcome his fear and had made his first flight. So what he did in this life was, he was once upon very much scared of this sea, vast sea. But he has overcome that. He flew straight over the sea. He started flying over the sea, and he could see the greenery, he could see the mountains beneath him. He screamed out of joy, he was shouting out of joy and enjoyed his victory. When he landed on the other edge, along with his family, and the family's gesture towards him was proud. They were screaming and shouting with excitement at their high-pitched voice. Again, what our little fellow did was he goes to the sea where, goes to the sea about which once upon a time he was scared and panicked. He tried escaping, but he did floating, but he was so tired, he felt dizziness, he felt weak only because of hunger. Then he calmed down himself and he started floating on the sea, to which once upon a time he was so scared. His family started celebrating in excitement and offered him food as praise, as a gift. And finally, our young seagull overcomes his fear and makes his first flight. So, children, hope you have understood. Thank you.